Welcome back to Hello Ladies, Feminism and Pro Wrestling. I checked this time and that's how it goes. Feminism and Pro Wrestling.
Yes.
I'm one of your hosts, Sabrina.
I am Megan.
And yeah, we left off last time. We cut off kind of abruptly because we realized we had been talking for like an hour and a half. So we're going to pick up where we left off, talking about Lita.
Yes.
Which was,
perfect timing.
Yeah, since she popped up on Raw and is announced for the Royal Rumble. And all of my dreams would come true if she were to win the Women's Royal Rumble. That's what I want.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Do I think that will happen? Probably not, but maybe. Because we all know they're actually trying to compete with AEW, even though they're saying they're not.
Right. And their ratings have not been the best. They're not terrible, but they're not...
It's not even the ratings. Raw isn't selling tickets.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, I think if it wasn't for the fact like AEW is still selling tickets. I mean, I don't think either one is selling as much as they would be if we were outside of a pandemic.
Right.
Because I know, and I think we've both said this, I'm not comfortable going to a live show right now, no matter how much I also want to.
There's a AEW show coming to Atlantic City next month that my husband and I were talking about potentially going to, but we're still on the fence, and I don't think we're gonna go because I don't see things getting better in a couple weeks.
They just take and crop dust the entire United States with the vaccine. Everyone's fine now. Oh my God, can you? That's a whole other.
Yeah, that'd be a whole other podcast and a whole other subject.
Yeah, lawsuits, I'm sure.
Crop the chemtrails, all that crazy conspiracy theory stuff.
Mm-hmm. We might have just actually started a conspiracy theory now. Someone's going to be like, they're dropping the vaccine.
Oh God, we might have. Just scratch that.
Yeah. This was all a joke.
Yeah. We're not serious. Nobody's really crop dusting vaccines anywhere, just so you're aware.
Yeah. We're very serious about wrestling, not serious about crop dusting vaccines.
Right. But anyway, Lita, sorry.
Yeah, so Lita. I actually teared up a little bit when she said she was thought she had one more run left in her. Mm-hmm. And I have to admit, I immediately, because she looks good, and we've seen her in Rumbles before. We know she can still go. Mm-hmm. So I looked up how old she is, and she's 47, 48.
Get out.
Uh-huh. And then I was just like, oh God, that means the Hardys are all, and Edge and Christian, and the list kept growing, but they're all still wrestling.
Right.
Why can't Lita?
Exactly.
So
I mean, Trish was able to still go. I'm sure Lita can still go. Probably, not at the level. None of them can go at the level they did when we were younger, but they could still put on a decent match.
Yes, 100%.
And a Rumble's perfect for someone that's older coming back because you're not solely focused on them. There's 29 other wrestlers that are in there that can pick up the slack or, help. I don't want to say help carry, but kind of help carry just in case they can't do something they used to do.
Mm-hmm. Or last year when Beth Phoenix got that huge cut in the back of her head, and she continued on, but I was just oh.
Yeah, that was
scary.
A little, yeah, that was pretty gruesome.
I was I hope someone's covering her daughter's eyes right now.
Right? If that was my mother, I would be freaking out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that has to be one of the, well, also, I don't know if you saw, but Beyond the Mat, I remember watching that as a kid and watching Mick Foley's kids react to their dad having all this stuff happen.
With The Rock, smashing him in the head over and over with the chair. Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah. And I remember watching that. I think I was 12 or 13, and that completely changed how I viewed wrestling in a lot of ways. So things when Jericho was fell off the top of that cage, I was just does he need to be doing he's not a spring chicken anymore. No. And I'm glad that he feels capable of doing these things, but his kids have to be Dad,
right?
I don't want to be pushing you around in a wheelchair. Can you lay it off?
I mean, they did make it as safe as possible, which they got flack for, but what did people want him to do? Like, really fall onto, like, concrete and steel, or, like...
I think it wasn't... So, my thing with it was Jericho, MJF, they did their jobs perfectly. The people who did not were the production.
Yeah.
Like, they should have painted the other sides. The people... They've gotten... AEW has gotten whatever. They've gotten significantly better
Marginally? Marginally, I think, might be what we're looking for.
Marginally, I think, is just small.
They still have work.
Yes, but they've gotten significantly better from where they were at with their camera work. So I don't necessarily think we would see something like that now. Maybe
not, and definitely not the explosion. I don't think we would see that again either.
Well, you know, who doesn't like playing with those little, like, twinklers, like, when you're a kid, like, sparklers?
Oh, God, I felt so bad for Eddie Kingston because he had to
He
try
sold
to...
it.
I know, and he had
Too
to cover
hard.
it up. And, you know, he did a good job with the whole anxiety thing after, and, like, I mean, he did the best he could with a bad situation. And he and Moxley in that promo right after it, they killed it. So, I mean, it's still really goofy.
Bad.
Like, it was still goofy looking, but... Yeah. He made a decent excuse, I guess.
We all knew what happened, unfortunately.
Yeah. It was botched pyro.
Yeah, it was bad. It was so bad.
Because they didn't plan for it to go off like that. There was supposed to be more, and it.
Can you imagine if they did? This'll sell it so well.
Yeah, right. I just imagine like those little pinwheels too. Remember?
Oh yeah. Oh. Like, oh gosh. But speaking of Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley is back and looks fantastic.
He looks so healthy. I love seeing him look like this. He looks his age.
He looks his age. His skin looks so much better. Like before it was red, puffy, textured. And now, like, as we age, there's a little bit of texture to our skin. But, like, you know, maybe a lot of celebrities should go to rehab instead of having a shit ton of plastic surgery done.
Maybe.
It would probably, you know, save their lives and a lot of money in the long run.
Right.
But, yeah, he looked fantastic. And I'm so happy for him and his wife and, like, their family. And that promo he cut.
He's always gold on the mic. I mean, even when he was, you know, sick, when he was struggling, he was still good on the mic. I mean, he's just a good talker. But yeah, last night it was one of his best, I think.
Yeah. Although, like, when he made the comment about drinking blood, I'm like, vampire gimmick. Got it. All right.
You're part of the brood.
Yeah. Yeah, you had said about Christian, like, yeah, he's going to start teaming up with Christian now. I mean, Edge is doing the entrance in WWE sometime, so Christian should just bathe in blood and
Right.
come on out.
I mean, Edge is spilling chocolate on people. It doesn't so much look like blood, but...
Yeah, no.
It's too brown. It's just too brown.
It looked very similar to, it was the Spirit Squad, right? That had it was supposed to be shit poured all over them.
Oh, I wasn't watching them, but
I wasn't.
I've seen the clip. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Dolph Ziggler's come a long way.
Yeah.
Long way.
He definitely has.
Oh, that man, like, he's the only one out of the Spirit Squad, too, that, like, had, like, a big-time career.
Yeah. I don't even know who any of the other ones are when I think about it. I can't picture their faces. I just see, like, bodies, and Ziggler. Like,
A bunch of white guys, right? That's what I remember. A bunch of white guys in cheerleading outfits.
Yeah, you know, Vince's sense of humor.
Yep. Yeah.
Not always the best.
No, like, it was better suited for the 90s.
Yeah, and this was what, like the 2010s?
Tens?
Around there?
Yeah, it had it.
Or like late 2000s? Like, it had to have been, because I
Yeah.
started watching again in 2011, and I missed the Spirit Squad. Like, they didn't exist. Like, Lur was on his own, and it wasn't too... He was with Vicky
I was
when
going to say, was he
watching.
with Vicky?
Yeah, he was with Vicky.
So it's probably a year or two before that then. Because I don't know how long he went back to, I almost said AEW, OVW.
Oh.
Oh, he was traveling into the future for a while. One of the things also that I had texted Megan about last night while watching, I've definitely noticed that you can tell and it was when I saw Adam Cole, actually, that amazing match with Adam Cole, Britt Baker versus Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander.
Who I love.
Yes, she's amazing. Mm-hmm. Everyone in that match, pure gold.
Yeah.
But you can tell, like, the connection that Cole makes with the camera. Like, he has a natural connection with the audience, mm-hmm. but how he looks at the camera and just how good he is at working it. If you look at other people who specifically went through NXT, it's the same thing. Mm-hmm. That's the one thing that they are light years ahead of AEW in. Like, I think they need... I mean, Dusty was the one doing those classes, so in theory, Cody or Dustin could do it.
Look how good Cody is, too. I mean, oh God, that promo last night. I wish the crowd would have shut up. Like, I understand, like, chanting, but they were trying to hijack it at the wrong moments, and chanting Royal Rumble, I mean, come on. Nobody with a brain really believes he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. This whole thing is a work with the contract.
Yeah.
Obviously. I mean, he's Mr. AEW.
If anything, like, if he was taking time off, it would be to be with his new baby. Like, that's it. But he's not going. His wife is
the chief brandy officer.
Yeah, the chief brandy officer. So she's not going anywhere. No. He's not going anywhere. Like, and Cody's also spoken about how he wants to, at some point, fairly soon, and by fairly soon for wrestlers is like probably within 5 years, step away from being in front of the camera and go behind it.
Yeah.
So it would make zero sense for him to go to WWE to just be fired, really.
And like, honestly, he's probably burned a lot of bridges at this point. I mean, look at all of the shots he takes at Triple H, the golden shovel, the sledgehammer, the throne, the stuff that he says in his promos. Like, he very blatant, even last night, like the Gunther, what do you say, Gunther McGillis silly or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, which they've abandoned that trademark.
Gee, wonder why.
Maybe it's not the greatest thing to name a wrestler after a Nazi.
Yeah, actual Nazi.
An actual Nazi, yeah.
Yeah, that probably, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I can say about that hasn't already been said all over Twitter, all over dirt sheets, all over the internet. It was just, how could you not, after the submissions of sorters, what's the word I'm looking for? Sorority. How could you not Google something? Like, just Google it and see if it's attached to a Nazi or porn or, I don't know. That was just it was either a huge oversight or they just thought, oh, no one will notice.
It did cross my mind that maybe, like, a Nazi sympathizer is amongst their ranks, and it was just like, I'm just going to shoot this in. I think this guy got a bad name. Like, that thought did cross my mind, but that's because I have zero faith in human beings anymore. So, I mean, would anybody be surprised if there was a Nazi sympathizer working at one of the largest corporations?
No.
I don't know. Well, maybe they're not one of the largest corporations in America, but they are certainly the largest wrestling one. So
yeah, that was a mess. Oh Lord, was that a mess?
Or Walter, like,
I know, like, he already had a fine, like, his name's fine. Just leave it as it is.
I wonder if they're just, like, not going to mention it all on NXT. And the funny thing is, like, I actually tuned in this week to NXT, and at the beginning, like, they introduced him with his actual, well, not his actual name, but with, like, as Walter, and I won't lie, I did not finish watching NXT. I definitely tuned out.
I didn't even watch.
What did I see? Yeah, I didn't really, like, I was just going through looking for Pete Dunne, Dexter Lumis, and Indy Hartwell, Dakota Kai, and
Io.
Yeah, that's who I like. I will literally just fast forward through it. If I see one of them, I'll stop. But otherwise, I keep on trucking.
Yeah, I didn't even watch the whole reason I found out is because I was I don't even remember what we were watching, but I was just sitting on the couch and I just heard Brian go, "Oh my God." And I go, "What?" And he told me to check Brian Alvarez's Twitter. And
Yeah.
all I see is all capitals, Gunther Stark. And I was like, wait, what? And then he was talking about Walter's name change. And then I just started seeing like all the Nazi stuff. I was like, oh, Lord.
Then I started seeing all the Nazi stuff.
Like, why? Okay, so it's not like he was in a different promotion and coming to WWE. Like, I know they do name changes then.
Like,
But
well, they changed Piper Niven to
yeah,
Dewdrop.
Oh.
Like it made sense that that Eva Marie would have been like, "You're Dewdrop," meh, 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 meh. But then she went away.
Yes.
She should have become Piper again.
Yeah, like Dewdrop is one of the dumbest names I've ever heard in my life.
Isaac Yankem, I mean, is still
That's up there.
But yeah, Dewdrop's not good. It's not good.
God.
Piper, however, is like, I like Charmed when I was a kid, so I mean, I think Piper is a great name from that show. So
I legit just realized Yankum because he was a dentist. Like Yankum. Okay.
I love the people who go at Britt Baker. Like, you see it on the AEW fan pages. Them people being like, they've already done this gimmick, Isaac Yankum. People are like, she's a real dentist, you moron. She actually practices. You can book yourself an appointment with Dr. Britt Baker down in Florida. I have considered.
I heard that how she and Tony Schiavone became close was she fixed his whole mouth, like fixed his teeth. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's something I remember hearing like very early on in AEW when she was doing like the whole like Starbucks thing with him about how he was a barista and like they started getting close around then. I don't remember where I heard it or read it, but I do remember seeing that she like did his whole mouth for him and they're actually close in real life.
Yeah. Yeah, he's talked about that a lot because I assume she gets upset as well, but he gets very upset when people try to put like a sexual connotation with their relationship.
Yeah.
Because he's like, she's like my daughter. Like, please, that's gross. Stop. And like, thank you. Thank you for saying that out loud.
Right? Just because two people are like close doesn't always mean sexual. Like, I don't know why people can't understand that. It's stupid.
Yeah.
You can become close with someone that you're working with and not want to fuck them. Like,
Yeah, plain and simple. I have seen also pictures of her. She posted a photo of her like in Adam Cole's mouth, like he had the cotton shoved in.
I've
He
seen
was
that.
like, I mean, that's a pretty sweet deal if your significant other can fix your teeth, especially if you have a job like a wrestler where like there's a good chance you're gonna need dental work at some point.
And probably don't have dental insurance.
No.
Well, AEW maybe. Aren't they insured there? Or I can't remember. I know WWE, they're definitely not insured.
I heard. I don't. Okay, so I was listening to an interview with the best friends, where of course Orange Cassidy said almost nothing. So it was Trent and Chuck Taylor and Orange, and something. Chuck Taylor had his dental insurance that he has, and it made the way he said it made it sound like he had to get it himself. Does not work. They live in Pennsylvania. They live down in Philly.
Oh yeah.
Does not work in Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey. He's like, I'd have to go to Idaho to get my Idaho to get my teeth fixed. Which, so I'm assuming they might have like, if you're hurt like there, that they take care of your bills. Which, I mean, WWE does the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that, I don't know if they actually provide dental and vision or not, unless like you poke out an eye. Which actually that wouldn't be vision, that would just be surgery.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. We can ask
Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I was like, wait, who
And
had their
Malachi
eye?
Black.
Yeah. Or at the time was Alistair when his eye was...
Well, now there's still like the weird thing going on with his eye. I think he said the idea is like the more like weird the stuff is coming from his eye, the stronger he gets is where it's going. So I guess if we start seeing that diminish, he's gonna start losing matches. I don't know.
That tag match was great last night.
Which one?
Oh, with
The Alistair and...
Yeah, the House of Black.
Yeah. Who was the other guy?
Oh, it was the Varsity Blondes.
Okay. No. Alistair's...
Oh, Brody King.
Okay. Yes. I'm so glad that Cody brought up the fact, like, if you come into AEW and use name Brody... because as soon as I saw that guy's name, and I texted him, I was like, what is this? Like, that's a little too close. I don't think that you should be able to use, like, if Brody happens to be your real name, you should change it. I also feel the same thing if you're not a member of the Hart family using the last name Hart.
Oh, like what's her first name?
Julie.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like, I don't care if that's your real name. It's gotta go.
Yeah, it's one thing about AEW. They don't really force name changes. Like, they let people come in as they were on indies, or not so much. Well, they can't with WWE because they're all trademarked. But if it's somebody coming in from like the indies or like New Japan or something like that, like, they don't make them change their name. So I think that's why he's still Brody King, because they're not gonna. Yeah,
which, while I appreciate that they do that, I think there should be some guidelines.
Yeah, I understand that, because then especially if Brody Lee was still alive, it'd be a little confusing to have, especially because there's also like 1,000 people with the last name like Cage in AEW right now. That gets a little
confusing. Mm-hmm. And you would think also, as like a wrestler, if you're coming into a promotion and your name is that close, you would change it. You'd think you would do that, but no. Because I've seen plenty of things where superstars or wrestlers, whatever you want to call them, will change how they look, even because they feel like there's too many people that look that way. Usually it's the women who do that, but even the guys will be like, too many guys are wearing trunks, I'm gonna wear pants, and vice versa. I think that's why. Was it Edge changed it? Somebody.
Hangman changed. He used to wear the didn't he just recently break out the trunks again, or was I watching old stuff? I can't remember. But he did used to have the trunks, or was it the pants, and now he's now I can't remember. I'm screwing myself up. He had one and now he's the other. Like, that's.
Yeah. Guys have they have very few choices. They can do the Speedo, they can do the trunks, they can do pants, and or like the Big Show's
like the singlet.
Yeah, the singlet. Two straps or one.
Or the jeans. They have those. Some of them like mocks.
Yeah. Yes. But like women have like a much wider array of things that they can do, which I think is both a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
Because you have so much freedom in that. I will say also that, what is her name? Penelope Ford, I think it was on Dynamite. Her outfit reminded me so much of Lana in WWE. She had like everything about it, including how she had her hair. It was so much like when Lana was in WWE for a second. Like, I was tuning in and I was like, I didn't see that Lana. That's not Lana. Okay. Because I think Lana's done with wrestling for at least now. She's doing movies and stuff.
Oh.
What's
her real name? CJ, right?
Yeah, CJ Perry. I kind of think it's a shame because she put so much work into becoming... She was not the best wrestler, but she was good.
She was improving.
Yeah, like she was putting on decent matches. I was entertained. I wanted to see where things were going, and then they fired her.
I hated her getting put through a table every single week of her life just because her husband went to AEW, and you can't convince me that's not the reason why.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was ridiculous. It was every single week she was getting slammed through a table.
It made her a baby face. I will say that. Like, that's one way to do it, I guess.
Yeah, I'm so sick of the, like, stupid baby face or the weak baby face that they have going in WWE. Like, you can be a good guy.
And be strong.
Yeah, and not have to lose all the time or, like, win by chance or only win at the big one. Like, you could still make a good baby face and not have them be like duped and tricked and not have friends, and I just I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it.
Well, now that Brock Lesnar's the baby face, who knows what'll happen.
He's like a tweener. Like he's not like a pure, like you can have like a pure white meat baby face and still not have them be made to look like a fool every week.
I will say I am getting a bit sick of them in AEW having Orange Cassidy lose all the freaking time. Like, I get it. Yeah. When Cole came in and when Kyle O'Reilly and Fish came in, great way to set them off as heels. Everyone loves Orange Cassidy, obviously. Yes, having them do awful things to him, great way. He needs to beat them at some point.
He's going to at the unsanctioned or the lights out match, because then that way Adam Cole loses, but it's not a loss on his record. And it's the same thing they did with Britt Baker with Thunder Rosa. They had her lose that match, but it never counted as a loss.
Yeah.
So this is the way that they're setting up for Orange Cassidy to finally get his win, and Adam Cole's record is still clean.
Yeah. And then I'm glad you brought up the Britt Baker Thunder Rosa thing. So last night when Britt Baker went through that table by getting bumped, and then was just done.
She was dead.
I was so mad. Like, it makes sense when like a manager, when they go through the table and they're done. Someone who's not a wrestler, absolutely. But someone like Britt Baker, who we have seen go through hell.
Yeah. Covered in blood.
And she's still kicking. Orange Cassidy bumps her and she's dead. Like, I was just like, no. We are not. This is
it was one of
unacceptable.
It was like one of those classic, like, using the girlfriend to further the feud, when that does make sense if it's a manager, and even like with Triple H and stuff, like, it makes sense with them. But Britt is one of the toughest people on their roster, period. Like, full stop. Not toughest women, toughest people on their roster. And for her to just, like, I was like, that was the safest table shot I've ever seen. I was like, it looked like she just fell back into bed, and then she was dead.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was a thing I was really concerned about with having
those two together.
Yeah, those two working together.
Yeah, we talked about that last time. And then, like, right after she came, I was like, I remember I messaged you. I'm like, well, that was poor timing for us to mention that.
Yeah. Like, 100% hope that after this, it's fine to reference or to have them occasionally, like, be in each other's spheres. But Britt Baker has her own stuff going on with her own little group. She does not need to be part of whatever it's going to wind up being called with Adam Cole. And
I don't know if you saw, but there's already merch, and the shirt is DMD Baby, so they already have their mixed shirt.
I mean, that is a good shirt. But which, I think you can still push stuff like that, and even have, like, backstage segments and stuff like, please do not make Britt Baker seem like a weakling. Like, do not do that.
I want more of her yelling at Cutler. I want more of that.
Yes. Britt Baker is also hilarious. And I'm very excited to see her on Being the Elite. Like, I think that'll be fantastic.
Yeah, she hasn't been on in a long time. I remember when they first signed her, and it was when Adam Cole was dead. And she was like going to the Bucks, like, aren't we going to address the elephant in the room? And they're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
She's like, you killed my boyfriend. And they cut her right off, and it went to the next segment. That was one of the funniest things. I'd love to see her back on it, because she's funny. Like, she's funny. She can wrestle. She's
the total package. Yep. She really is. Like, she is amazing. Also, I don't know if she's doing her makeup or if somebody else is doing it, but at least who's ever doing hers is doing it correctly. If there is someone backstage at AEW, get a hold of MJF and, like, please, like, there's, like, a line sometimes on his face from, like, the self-tanner.
You can see it on his hands.
Splotchy on his body. Adam Cole last night at least, like, didn't have anything on. And I think that's far better because it was, I don't know if it's AEW's lights or what, but like it often shows patchy on their bodies.
Yeah, you can always see like streaks on people and the self tanner.
Yeah, bad. And then and MJF, the other thing is like, put a colored chapstick on, sir. Like, anyone who puts foundation on, you have foundation lips. Like, that's what's going on. Just some tinted chapstick. It will not make you feminine or anything. Just please. It's so just like, I'm obviously someone who is very into makeup, and so when I see stuff like that, I just focus in, and I'm like, can I just let me fix it, please, please?
It's a little distracting because I can't focus on what he's saying. I'm looking at all the blotches, and he's brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely brilliant. He's a good looking kid, and he doesn't deserve to be blotched like that. Like,
yeah. And I really do think it's a mixture of like
lighting,
the lighting that they have, because WWE too, like sometimes they do that weird yellow light on when someone's in the ring giving a promo.
Oh, poor Lita. Poor
Lita, they did that to Becky on Monday too, and I was like, no, get that, and like they changed it off, and I was like, oh. But even still, like whoever did Becky's makeup did not blend. They just did her face.
Yeah, they cake it on them in WWE. I
And then
mentioned that a lot.
And then her neck was bare. Now I accidentally today put on my summer foundation, not my winter. And you know what you do? You just blend it down the neck, and you're fine. Like, that's all you gotta do. Because, I mean, if I went like this, you can see. But otherwise...
I am a pale all year, so my foundation is pale all year, and I just stay pale.
Yeah. No, driving around. Okay, I was outside quite a bit this summer because, although I know this is very shocking based on how pale I am, but I have a sensitivity to the sun. I'm not allergic to it. My sister is. I am not. But... I can literally, if it's a really hot day and I'm in the sun, I can feel it's like a battery is just being drained in my body. Like I have to constantly be hydrating, and not just hydrating. There has to be like electrolytes in it.
That's what plants crave. Sorry, that was a idiocracy reference.
Oh.
Electrolytes is what plants crave.
Oh.
The dumbing down of everything that's coming. That's a whole other thing. Never mind. Ignore my stupid references. I guess I'll be that person.
No worries. I mean, I went on a tangent about makeup and then my intolerance to the sun, which is, maybe that's why I'm excited that Moxley is possibly a vampire. I'm like, oh, me too.
Yeah, right.
I feel ya.
Yeah, I have 2 stages. It's either completely pale or bright red. That's it. There's no in between.
Yeah.
My Irish skin.
Yeah, same. Like you will never see me wear pink because the pink undertones of my skin pop out. I mean, there's pink makeup on me now, but that's different. I can hear a cat.
Yeah, they popped out from underneath the bed, so if you saw me looking, aw.
This is Scarlett.
Hi.
She went to the vet today for her annual, so she's not happy.
Hey, baby.
You should feel very lucky because usually she doesn't come out for folks.
I am like a cat. Oh, I got a lick. I'm like a cat whisperer.
Okay, we're not doing ASMR with your cat butt. Go down.
She's sweet.
She's very sweet. She's just like, I don't understand why you're not paying attention to me.
Oh, they're all like that. I mean, you have a cat, your focus needs to be on the cat at all times.
Yes. I will say, so Drew McIntyre is a cat dad. And he's a very proud cat dad. And I was scrolling through Instagram the one day, and oh my god, there's so much cat hair floating around. I was scrolling through Instagram the one day, and I stopped because I saw a cat, and I was like, oh, he had a post about his book coming out, and the cat was like, my cat's reading it.
Aww.
And I said to my boyfriend, no, I'm like, hey, did you know Drew McIntyre has a book? And he went, God damn it. And I was like, what? He's like, I bought you that book. It's coming in like 2 days. It's autographed. I bought you the JR book as a distraction. Like, because he was asking me about wrestling books and if I liked them. And I said, yes. So he has a history of all of his gifts being, like, any surprises being ruined. And it was literally foiled by Drew McIntyre's cat. If the cat hadn't been in that photo, I wouldn't have stopped scrolling. The cat gave it away, though.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for them, too.
Oh, you stink. Okay. Great.
Stinky Cat Podcast.
Welcome back to the Stinky Cat Podcast. Oh, what? Okay, we're pausing and she's going out. Welcome back to the podcast, as Megan has called it.
Oh, Lord, that was too funny.
Animals, they're great.
Yeah, special guest on the podcast today.
Our first guest ever, Scarlett. She has no opinions about wrestling, other than she loves when wrestling's on because I'm in a place for a set period of time, and I will snuggle with her all she wants.
Yeah, that's how Creature is, too. When I'm sitting watching it, he will plop his big body right next to me, and as soon as he plops down, he'll start purring, and I'll just sit there watching and just petting him the whole time. And then,
like, this is great.
Yeah, he's my little wrestling buddy.
Yeah. My one cat, Dobby, will actually watch wrestling sometimes. Like, he's watching it. I have a video. It's from the Mae Young Classic, and it's Shayna Baszler versus Mia Yim. And he was just like, you can see him just, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was, I mean, there was a lot of flips and things like that, so maybe that's what caught his attention.
My little one, Lily, is like that. Sometimes I'll see her, she'll just sit in front of the TV, and you could see her the same thing. Like, she's just looking at everything, probably as the people flipping around. And
yeah. So did you name her after the doll?
Oh, no, I named her after Lily Potter.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like a normal person.
Yes, like like you have Dobby, I have Creature, and then I have Lily.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I knew I was going to get Lily, I probably would have named Creature Severus, but that's for a whole other fandom, so well.
That just means you need a third cat.
Yeah, try telling Brian that.
I mean, if one looks like the other, how long will it take him to figure it out?
He probably would. I was already told that we will not become those kind of cat people. I was like...
I'm those kind of cat people.
I would be, but...
Yeah, I'm the one who has to say no to no more cats.
Like, I'm not the type that my husband, like, tells me what I can or cannot do, but that's, like, one thing he's, like, firm on. He's like, no, we're not having more than 2 cats. I'm sorry. Like, he's like, I basically do whatever I want because I'm a human being adult. But, like, that, he's, it's his house, too. So I understand he doesn't want more than 2 cats. I will bend on that.
Yeah.
Gotta choose your battles, kids.
Get a dog, dress it as a cat.
There you go.
Problem solved.
Oh, Lord, but I think we, like, totally strayed from Lita. I don't even think we finished talking about her, did we?
Very glad she's coming back.
No, so, like, do you hope that she wins? Like, honestly, because I'm kind of on the fence. I'm part of I like seeing older acts come back, but I hate seeing them take the spotlight from younger stars. So, yeah, it would be cool because I loved her. Like, she was one of my favorites. It's not that I don't like her. But also, like, there is other younger talent I'd like to see. Like, I would like to see Bianca Belair get the belt back.
Yeah.
I think the way that she lost it was horrible after the run that she was having. Like, I love Becky. Becky's one of my top 5.
Yeah. And it's not Becky's fault.
No, it's not her fault that she's booked that way. She only does what she's told to go out and do. But...
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
I don't know. Like, I'm glad to see Lita back. I hope she has a good performance in the Rumble, and I'd like to see her be one of the final 4. But I want Bianca to win.
I either want some... And usually, yes, I'm very much so not a fan of, like, older wrestlers coming back. Because Lita was so royally fucked on her way out, like... I'm angry about what they did to her. I can only imagine that she is also angry. Like she would also be angry about it. Like, that never should have happened. They're throwing her underwear out to everyone and, like, all that bullshit.
Sexism, kids.
At its finest.
All right.
That is one of the reasons why, because I truly believe that she can probably still, that she can still keep up. And amaze us and entertain us. So I would be fine, and I might cry if she were to win the Royal Rumble. But yeah, I would also love to see If Toni Storm hadn't left, I would have loved to have seen her win, or as long as it's not
Charlotte winning it and choosing her own opponent, which I 100% think that that's how this is going.
Yeah, I don't want to. I love Charlotte. Like I love everything she does in that ring. Like she has so much. She's another one that has so much talent. But I do not want to see her win the Rumble. I want them to scare us though with her doing that. I want us to be like yelling at the TV, like rageful, and then that not happen.
Yeah, she'll be one of the final ones in there, if not the final two.
Yeah,
it'll probably come down to her and either her and Lita, or her and Bianca, or even her and Alexa. I mean, Alexa could be a someone we don't expect to win that might end up winning it.
I'm also hoping that Bayley comes back.
Oh, I know, me too.
And I would be 100% fine with Bayley winning it. Like, out of, I know Sasha's injured. I think they said she's going to be out past the Rumble.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah. Out of the 4 horsewomen, the only one I would be, because none of them need it. The only one I would be okay with winning it is Bayley.
I love her so much.
Yeah, and she's just another one who's like so stinking good. And I think, she could use that, that push to jump off. I don't necessarily want Liv Morgan to win it. I like Liv, but I don't necessarily want to see her win the Rumble.
I don't think she needs it either, because she's so over with the fans. She got herself over, and I think that she's gonna get punished for it, because anytime anybody gets themselves over.
Well, I mean, Becky Lynch did too. I mean, okay. Her nose getting broken got her over.
Yeah, that, and I also have heard that she's Steph's favorite. That Steph really loves Becky, so I'm sure that could have played a part in it too. And we all know that Triple H loves Seth, so.
I mean, I love what Seth is doing right now.
He's fantastic.
That cackle.
Yeah, he is.
He is like the thing from every child's nightmares with that laugh. It is fantastic.
It reminds me of what was it? It was a clown from Rugrats that Chucky was afraid of.
Oh,
do you remember I'm talking about, like Boppo or something it was called?
Yes.
That's exactly what I think of every time.
I can see that.
I love it. The ridiculous outfits and the coming out dancing and the stupid laugh and like he's having the time of his life.
Yeah, I was never a Seth Rollins fan.
No?
Until, like, he was someone who I was like, okay, cool, like, whatever. And then the thing with Finn Balor happened. And while it's nobody's fault, I was pissed. And I will forever be pissed that happened. But I'm not pissed at Seth anymore.
Seth was literally my favorite out of the Shield. When that was a thing, he was always my favorite because he was crazy. Like, the stuff he'd jump off of, and I was always the most drawn to Seth. And then probably Mox, which was, Dean Ambrose at the time. And last was Roman, which I hate to be like that kind of fan, but I was never a fan of Roman. And I did like what he was doing with Heyman in the beginning, but now I'm kind of over it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I think for him, I very much so want to see someone who's newer take it off of him. Like, I just build a new star. Like, that will strap a rocket to whomever's back and floom.
Oh, yeah, whoever finally beats him, if it's somebody that, isn't Brock, like, that would be the launching point of their career for sure, because they have built up Roman to be just this monster. Like, they built him up to what they wanted him to be in, like, 2016.
Yeah.
And he wasn't quite there.
Yeah. Sadly, he had to get cancer again for it to, for people to get behind him.
Yeah, that's kind of shitty. Like,
yeah, like,
it's not that I ever disliked him as a person. I just didn't like his character. Like,
some people really disliked him as a person, even though it wasn't, like, well, wrestling fans do that.
It's still real to me, damn it, crowd. Like, there's people that can't separate the person from the character, and they still legit think that, like, kayfabe's real. Like, spoiler, sorry.
Yeah. Like, I know they all say, like, oh, my character's my personality turned up, like, to 10 or 110 or whatever. okay, but that's still not them. Like, these are not necessarily choices that they would be making on their own. With very few exceptions, like, Triple H definitely got to write his own shit for a while. But he...
And really got to marry Steph.
Yeah, and really got to marry Steph. And I mean, in the case of Triple H, he at least really paid his dues. Like, especially after that whole Click thing and...
The curtain call thing.
Yes. Yeah, the curtain call. Like, he was the one that was punished significantly for it. So.
Because he was supposed to win the King of the Ring, right? And was that the year that Austin ended up winning it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which is crazy because we may have never had the 316 if the curtain call didn't happen.
Yeah, it's true. I guess sometimes things happen for a reason.
Yeah. So, good on them for ruining kayfabe for everyone.
I don't think it's a bad thing because I like seeing them as human beings as well. Because, I mean, you get to see movie stars as human beings. You don't always see them as their character. You get to see them as being real people, which, not always a good thing. Sometimes they're crappy people.
Yep.
But...
And sometimes I just wish the wrestlers wouldn't tell us they were crappy people.
Oh, yeah, that happened a lot.
Looking at you, Chris Jericho.
It broke my heart. That really broke my heart.
I think that he doubled down so hard on I'm not showing favoritism to Trump, other than I'm also donating to him and
$10,000 and
I'm only having that side on my podcast because no, it's. When you cross over into human rights violations, it's no longer a matter of differing opinions.
Yeah, like a differing opinion is like, I like pineapple on pizza. Oh, no, I don't.
I do like pineapple on pizza.
I don't.
Yeah, see? And we're fine with each other.
I don't like pineapple at all, to be honest with you.
I like pineapple too. Did you know if you eat too much pineapple, you can feel the acids hurting your mouth?
It's kind of like when you eat too many Sour Patch Kids.
Yes. Because of the roughness. Did you ever get one of those gigantic ass jawbreakers when you were a kid that you would lick down through and then you just destroy your tongue?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cut up and gross.
Mm-hmm. It's like that with pineapple, but much more chemical reaction than grating off your tongue slowly.
No, I hate pineapple. I don't know what it is about it. It legit makes me gag. Even if there's a fruit salad, even if I pick it out, I could still taste it and I won't eat it.
It does have a very strong taste to it.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan.
That's sad. I love that taste and the smell of pineapple too.
I don't know what it is. Ever since I was a kid, just can't get past it.
So you can never even have a nice little drink out of a pineapple.
No, which is weird because I actually do like pina coladas, but
yeah, that is weird because there's pineapple.
Yeah, it's the only thing that in the shot, the pineapple upside down cake.
I don't think there's pineapple in that.
No, not at all. They're it's pineapple flavored, but not real pineapple, so I'm okay with that. But the actual fruit, no.
It's kind of like how I'm okay with actual cherries, but I hate cherry flavored things.
No,
because it's medicine.
I like both.
I know. Too much coffee. Well, some things can have a good. We know the nasty. This is cherry flavored, and you're like, this is medicine. Don't lie to me. They have the power to make medicine taste good. Anyone who had that amoxicillin or whatever it was, the pink bubblegum stuff.
Oh yeah.
Medicine can taste well. They just decide not to do it. And I get it. You don't want people just drinking that for fun, but kids can have it. Why can't I? Damn it. I want gummy vitamins too.
The Flintstones vitamins.
Yeah. Which actually, they didn't taste that great. I
remember liking them as a kid, but I can't remember what they taste like now. I can't picture the taste, but I know that my mom used to have to put them somewhere I couldn't reach because I thought yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a differing opinion. I don't like that. No, I don't like this. Not oh, I'm going to donate to this person that believes that, these people shouldn't have fundamental human rights.
Yes, yes. And will have the power to make sure that they don't. That's the key part.
That surprised me with him because he's
Canadian.
Not only not only that, but I don't know, he didn't strike me as I'm so still on the fence. I don't think that he is a bad person. Yeah. I think that he just chose poorly, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think Jericho is a bad person. I think he's done a lot for like charity and things like that.
He's good to his fans.
Yes. I think he was thinking with his wallet.
Yeah, I think that was the case for a lot of higher profile people, that they were thinking more tax.
Undertaker.
Yeah, like more. Well, no, I think the Undertaker's kind of shitty, to be honest with you.
Well, oh yeah, we talked about this last time with the
That broke my heart because Undertaker was always one of my most favorite. Like, I wish that's someone that I wish just stayed in character for the rest of his life. Like, you just stay the dead man.
He did do a fun interview with Kevin Hart recently where they both sat in tubs of ice. Like giant things. Undertaker was fine, and like Kevin Hart's like getting in like but yeah, those are the kind of interviews Undertaker should have stuck to, and not, oh Lord, nothing that couldn't be edited.
Yeah, I really hate the old school guys, like, criticisms of the newer guys, how, you know, they're not really problematic and they get criticized for it. I mean, yes, there's still problematic wrestlers that are younger, but like the whole, all they do is play video games. Like, we talked about that last time too, but I mean, like, so what? Like,
thank God they're doing that and not shooting up heroin. Like, sorry.
One thing I've noticed about our generation is that we very much stuck to our childhood. Like, we still like our toys, we still play our video games. We're like the Peter Pan generation. We're refusing to grow up.
Well, yeah, growing up sucks.
Yeah, like, growing old is inevitable, but growing up is a choice, and I choose not to grow up.
Yeah.
Like,
I will grow up when I start getting paid the amount of money grown up should be paid.
There you go.
That's what I say.
Yeah, when I can afford to move out of my house, like, yeah, that.
Yeah. Then I will gladly. No, I won't. I will still act the same, but I will think about it. I make grown-up choices all day. I should be able to wear what I want and, collect what I want.
Exactly. I don't think anyone should be shamed, especially someone that could probably kick your ass. Like, don't, like Kenny Omega, look at the size of him. You're going to shame him for, like, coming out dressed as Sans? Like, that was cool as hell.
I just thought, like, who's going to walk up to Big E and be like, fucking unicorns? You took your life in your own hands.
Yeah,
like,
God.
You are so lucky he is a nice man.
Right?
Like, what are you doing?
Or like Creed/Woods. I mean, the size of him, like, big boy. And he is the biggest nerd I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I really, like, when Betty White died, I immediately thought of Woods. And I was like, has someone checked on him? Like, once I got done being very sad for myself.
That was heartbreaking.
Has anyone checked on Xavier Woods? Like... Is he okay?
Probably not. I don't think anybody was.
No. That was a terrible New Year's. Thanks, 2021.
Right?
Not that 2022 is starting off any better.
No, we lost America's dad right after America's grandma. That was...
Yep. I'm just saying hi, like, everybody else. I don't want to even mention them for fear of, like, cursing them.
No, there's a name I have in my head that is an older gentleman that I'm not going to say because I'm not jinxing it, but I'm just going to say the word Spaceballs, and if you get it, you get it. Like,
yeah. So, I don't want to, I just had a thought, but 2021 is gone now. I don't think in 2021... Right, because Brody passed in 2020.
Yeah, he passed away. It was the day before my birthday. It was like going into my birthday, and I was like, "Oh wow, happy birthday!" Like,
yeah,
that was a bummer. That
no active,
as you can tell, I was a fan.
Yeah. No active wrestlers passed in 2021, right?
Not that I can think of. I don't think active, but I think there were some, like, older people. I can't think off the top of my... I don't know. From 2020 until now, it seems like one big blur of one whole year. Like, to be completely honest.
Yes. Yeah.
And last year for me was basically like wedding planning, and that's about it. That's all my mind was going towards.
Yes, which is why we wound up starting this podcast in 2022.
Yeah, we started talking about it in May, and I'm like, yeah, we can get together, but I have to do this. And then actually get married and...
Yeah. Have a monsoon for a honeymoon.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, we almost died in our honeymoon. That was fun. It was
death do us part.
Yeah, we took that really literally. We were in a bomb cyclone in Plymouth, Massachusetts, and when I tell you that the hotel, when the waves broke through and started flooding the hallways, looked like a scene from Titanic, I'm not exaggerating.
I can't even imagine seeing that in real life.
Oh, it was terrifying. And we were talking about going to Dynamite because they were near Boston. And there were still tickets available, and we're like, well, why don't we go? And we almost bought them, and then we thought, no, let's wait until tomorrow and see how tomorrow goes.
You show up looking like drowned rats.
Oh, we're so lucky that we didn't get them, because we almost did, and then it was that night that the whole storm came, and we ended up getting home in time to watch Dynamite that night. And we're like, well, we could have been there if we didn't almost die.
Yeah, I wonder if any wrestlers had like a similar experience to yours.
I heard that it was not as bad a little more north as it was for us, because I was like, how is this show still gonna happen? And they didn't get it as bad. Right.
Well, they already did that one show on the ship, so.
Oh, the Jericho Cruise?
Yeah. So I mean, they've got this down. Floating rings, that's all you need.
Yeah, that was it was scary. It
Monsoon
was
rules. But yeah, till death do us part.
Yeah, we definitely took that seriously.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you'll get to do like a real honeymoon soon.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, with everything, I don't see that happening. Like, not anytime soon.
Yeah. Well, maybe you'll get to go to WrestleMania.
That would, I'm torn on that. Like, I hate crowds.
Oh, yeah.
But I'd also like to experience it once.
Yeah.
But I'm just so, like, I have, like, bad anxiety, and being in, like this is even hard for me doing this. This is, like, so out of my comfort zone. And being in, like, a whole crowd of people, like, I don't like going to bars even that much, and, like, being around a whole, like, I just get, and I feel like I would need to really medicate to go to a WrestleMania.
Yeah, WrestleMania, that's something that's definitely on my bucket list. It's one of those things I struggle with, though, because, like, you're not going to be able to see shit.
No.
Like, unless you have, like...
the $10,000 front seat tickets.
Yeah, you're not seeing anything. Because even, like, let's say you get one of those nice aisle seats. That's great. You get to see the entrances. Can't see that match, though. Like, unless if you're going like this the whole time. Right. Like, you'd need a neck brace, I feel like, after that. And while I did have a healthy neck for a long time, I was in a lovely... The car accident was not my fault. I was rear-ended from behind so hard that they pushed me into the car in front of me, and I was at a stoplight. So, and they totaled my car. So I no longer have a healthy neck. So, like, the idea of how much pain I would be in, especially for 2 days of doing that, I think having WrestleMania be 2 days is fantastic.
Oh, I know. But I do not miss, like, falling asleep by the end of it.
Like, having been in a wrestling crowd before, it's great, like, those highs you get, and, like...
It's also exhausting.
It is so exhausting. It really sucks having to, like, if you're driving home, like, any distance.
Like, from Philly to here.
Mm-hmm. Like, ugh. Like, if I didn't have the pets, I probably would just stay at one of my friends' places in Philly and call it even. But, although now... And the fact that it was always on Sundays, but now they're moving pay-per-views to Saturdays.
Wonder why.
Yeah, I'm very annoyed by that because, yes, they're doing it because of AEW, but no offense to anyone else, but I have a life. Like, Saturdays, I'm usually busy, or, like, I have things that I'm doing. Sundays are good. And yes, I know that's really rude to, like, people in England or, like, anywhere else that it's not convenient for and have to get up for work in the morning. But my social life, COVID did enough to it. I don't need WWE cutting in on it.
Well, I work a lot on Saturdays. I'm usually, I can work either a Saturday or a Sunday, so I never know if my weekend's going to be free until 2 weeks beforehand. So planning anything is kind of...
Oh, it's fun.
Hell, like this podcast, for example. Like, oh, yeah, let's see when I'm actually free, because my days off change all the time. No. But I don't go out much anymore because I'm old now, and And, you know, like I was saying, I'm not a huge fan of bars anymore. And, like, I'm fine with them on Saturdays, but I'd prefer them on a Sunday. I think more just because it's habit.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
also, yeah, because you're just, like, used to since forever. Like, Sunday is pay-per-view day.
It's
Like,
over 20 years of conditioning at this point. Like, this is what I expect. Like, this is what I know. I'm too old to learn these tricks.
and now it's weird because, like, WWE is doing them on Saturdays, but AEW started doing them on Sundays now, I think, to, like, combat it. And, like, it's just, like,
Yeah.
pick a day. Just everybody pick a day.
Yes. I'm also so spoiled. I miss the network. But, like, I'm so spoiled with, like, there is the option of Peacock and fighting with that system.
Ugh.
Tony Khan, you're not listening. But I'm putting this into the universe.
You never know how much I praise AEW. I'll be accused of being put on the payroll soon by people. So
Please put some sort of archive together sooner rather than later. I'm sure it's on your, like, to-do list. Just move it up. That and expand your women's division. Some moron in a comment section said, like, someone had posted, like, what female wrestler from WWE would you love to see in AEW? And someone was like, the AEW women's roster is sturdy enough. It doesn't need any more. And I was like, no. Like, WWE's roster is, like, kind of sturdy. No, AEW's is not. Like,
both of them are kind of struggling. If you like, look at how they only announced 19 people for the Women's Rumble.
I don't want them to announce anymore.
No,
Like,
I don't either. But
stop.
after those 19 people are announced, it was like, that's their entire women's. Like, who else are they going to get? And now they're bringing in, like, Lita. And I don't know if Trish will be a surprise because she's, you know, retired. But sometimes even the retired ones.
I would love to see, like, I want to see Jacqueline in the ring, like, because I love Jacqueline. She's like my height, and, like, as a little girl looking at her and this tiny woman who's just, like, kicking all this ass, like, oh, I was just like, I want to be that when I'm older. Please.
I wanted to be China.
Yeah, I wanted to be China, but I knew I wasn't growing anymore, so
Yeah, I stayed at a
Jacqueline.
Nice 5'3". Like,
yeah. And I think Jacqueline's even smaller than that. So, and she's one of those people that no one ever has anything nasty to say about.
yeah, I don't think I've ever.
So I'd love to see her. Like, there are some women I'd absolutely love to see. Beth Phoenix should definitely be in the Rumble. Like, that was a no-brainer, especially now that she's going to be facing Maurice, although that's probably why she won't be in the Rumble.
Yeah. She's actually getting a match this year instead of just being, like, one of the surprise entrants.
Yeah, although, I mean, she made quite the statement.
Has she been in every one of them so far? Or
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, why wouldn't you have her?
She, like, just missed the perfect time for her to be in that company. Because she was there for the Divas crap, and, like, she just missed when...
I don't know if they would have got to where they were at if Beth wasn't there when she was. Because she inspired so many of the women that, like, were like, okay, we're gonna, like, choo-choo through this and try to make this better. Like, you're... I mean, obviously, Sasha Banks was heavily inspired by Eddie Guerrero. But, I mean, so many women who were wrestling
Beth.
today. Yeah. Beth, Chyna, like, they... Like, these amazing women. No one's sitting around going, Kelly really inspired me to become a wrestler.
AJ Lee doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah.
And she gets totally over... She's the one that started the Give Divas a Chance hashtag. And they all act... What they claim... Did they claim Stephanie did it? Isn't that what they try to claim now?
So, WWE might try that. I know the Bellas always give credit to AJ.
Do they?
Yeah. In their book, they flat out said, like, she's the one. Because it was during Brie Bella's match against, I don't remember who.
But it was like 2 minutes or something, wasn't it? And
I
then,
don't even think that long, honestly.
because I remember seeing that, like, when it happened, that she tweeted that. And I'm like, yeah, like, let's start giving women a chance. And then that's, like, not long after, that's when Paige came up. And Then after Paige, it was Charlotte and Sasha and Becky, because Bailey was still in NXT because she was the champ.
Yeah.
So she was there for a year, I think, after the three of them came up. And
yeah, because she's talked about before how she felt very left behind. And
I can imagine your best friends are all going up to like high school and you're still in middle school. It's kind of like what it would feel like.
Yeah. And she also said, like, because at that time, Becky and Charlotte were really close, and Sasha always had a great chemistry with whomever, probably Charlotte, because they put on all those bangers. Like, so she felt really, like, left out.
Not that I'm saying NXT was like middle school. Now that I'm thinking, like NXT back then was better than the main roster, but just saying like, because
like the moving up type thing. Yeah,
just wanted to clarify that NXT like takeovers were better than any main roster pay-per-views for a long time. Like,
yeah, and we can't have nice things, so 2.0 we have. I mean, yes, it makes sense. Because it's supposed to be a developmental brand, and you had people who are like, I'm going to stay here for forever.
Ciampa.
Yeah. Gargano. Like, I wonder.
Gargano's Twitch is the most wholesome thing. Have you watched it?
No.
Him and Candace, they were like baking gingerbread cookies. And like, oh my God, they are so wholesome. I just had to throw that out there when you said you got to follow it. It's like the Johnny Wrestling, I think it's on Twitch. Yeah. It's so wholesome. And she's so pregnant.
Yeah.
She's massive right now.
She's one that I think she should really stay in WWE, because I think she will do well on the main roster. Like, I think Vince will like her look, for one thing. And two, like, there's so many women I want to see her face. So...
She's tough. She took a super kicks to the face with thumbtacks, and oh my Lord.
The War Games matches alone, like... She's legit. I love her to death.
Yeah, she's one tough girl.
Yeah, Poison Pixie, right? That's what. Yeah. Love it.
Yeah, she's cool. I'd like to see her go. I just want to see her do well anywhere. Like, I don't care if main roster, if she does go to a different promotion, if she whatever. I just want to see her do well. I like her.
Yeah, I like her a lot.
Especially now seeing like her in her personal life too. Like, Twitch like ruins me on people, because like people that are supposed to be heels, like Adam Cole, and I'm like, oh my God, you're so wholesome. I love you. Like,
when I saw him at so I went to Comic-Con this year, and AEW was there. Thank God AEW was at Comic-Con, because I would have had nothing to do for like 3 days. So there was an AEW panel. And Adam Cole was just such, like, a sweet little wonderful baby of a human being. Like,
yeah, you sent me those videos.
Yeah.
See, I would have had stuff to do. Dante Bosco was there for Avatar: The Last Airbender, so I would have,
yeah.
Nerd.
A lot of, like, just a lot of my fandoms were not represented there. I was, so, also in that interview I was watching with the best friends, Chuck Taylor mentioned... Somehow Bones came up, and they were like, oh yeah, I've never watched, none of them have ever seen it, and but Chuck Taylor said, oh yeah, it's that guy from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, David Boreanaz. And I was like, Buffy fan? I think we really are best friends. So I will be so disappointed if it just turns out that that's information he knows and he's not a Buffy fan, because now that is a box I have put him in, and he's not allowed out of that box.
I mean, it's probably not out of the realm of possibilities, because he's probably around our age. And I mean, I didn't really ever watch it, because I think I was telling you I loved the movie.
Oh yeah.
And the show was so completely different that I was like, hashtag not my Buffy, and wouldn't watch it.
Well, it's AEW. Okay, there we go. Sorry.
Are you looking up his age?
He's 35, yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
So he's a little bit older than me, but
it seems like a lot of people in AEW, like the top people, are all like early, mid to late 30s. They're all like around our age.
Yeah.
It's a very 30s heavy company.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you have the folks that are a wee bit younger, like your MJFs, your
Jungle
boys. Yeah. Which... fun thing to do at parties. Anytime someone happens to mention Luke Perry, just bring up Jungle Boy.
I've done that.
Yeah. It's great. You can just watch their eyes slowly glaze over. Because they're initially interested. And they're very fascinated by how much he looks like his father. And
yes.
yeah. It has to be so weird, like, if you look that much like a parent. Like, just to be like, oh, that's my face.
That's me and my mom.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm told all the time that she looks like she legitimately spit me out, so...
I look like... I don't look like either of my parents.
No.
No. I'm not adopted, but I was asked that as a child.
No, I'm pretty much all of my mother, except for I have my dad's eyes, shape and color. And other than that, if you put a picture of, like, young my mom and young me together, it looks like the same person. So I get that. I get what it's like to look that much like a parent and to hear it your entire life, too.
Mm-hmm. Although I imagine, like, for him, it must be, like, 30 times worse since he was, like, everyone's heartthrob for so long. Although at least, you're good looking then.
Yeah.
Like, he's never had to be like, am I ugly?
No. I mean, if you look exactly like Luke Perry, I don't think you have to worry about if you're good looking or not, because, I mean, it's Luke Perry.
Mm-hmm. Although he probably had to worry about people wanting to hang out with him because they had a crush on his dad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably true. His dad was so cute. I loved him. Yeah, going back to Buffy, he was in that's why I watched it so much. I was obsessed with Luke Perry.
Yeah, he was in Buffy, obviously Beverly Hills 90210, and then Riverdale.
That I didn't watch. I heard it was good though. I might give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, they pack a lot into a season. I haven't finished the last season, I think, or a season ago. I don't know. I got lost somewhere in there after Luke Perry died, oddly enough.
I wonder if it's hard for him always hearing, like, about his dad, too, with his dad being passed, like, at such a young age. Like, that's got to be hard hearing about how much you look like your dad, or, like, Jungle Boy Jack Perry all the time. Like, I love JR, but he was just Jungle Boy. You didn't have to keep saying Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Like,
yeah. Unless, like, he might look at it as a way of paying tribute to his dad, maybe. I'm sure, like, he probably enjoys hearing, like, the nice stories about him and not just people, like, we are prattling on about him.
About how good looking he was.
Yes. By all accounts, he was a nice person as well.
Good actor, too.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, I imagine, like, he probably has some sort of, like, acting lessons or something, too, from... Like, his dad, I'm sure, taught him something, like, with that stuff.
Yeah, I love him. He's just so fun. Like, Jungle Boy's so fun to watch.
He has, I think, his entrance music is probably the best in AEW. Well, I mean, Adam Cole's you can really argue with now, but it's just, like, his entrance music is one that, like, goes into your soul and, like, just makes you happy.
I try to separate entrance themes that are actual songs from, like, songs that, like, were made for that wrestler. I put them in different categories. So, like, out of, like, songs that were already actually songs, I'd probably go with Orange Cassidy because I've always loved that song. But if I'm going for, like, wrestler theme songs that weren't already existing before wrestling, like, before AEW, I'm really torn. I think people sleep on Daniel Bryanson's theme song. Like, did I say Daniel Bryan? Bryan Danielson's theme song. I think it's fantastic and not enough. Like, everyone always talks about Adam Cole's, which is great, but I think Danielson's is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, his is nice. I don't know. It's not my absolute favorite. Who is somebody? There's another one that's just not popping into my mind.
Hooks, I like.
Yeah. Hook in general, like, it's so funny because, like, when I saw him come out, I knew he was second generation, but I didn't know whose kid he was.
He looks nothing like Taz.
The shape of his face looks like Taz. Like, enough so that, like, it's like the...
Oh, okay.
I did a thing with my jaw. For anyone who's listening. Like, I saw... Like, when I saw him, I was like, the Taz, maybe? And I cannot find a picture of Taz's wife or Hook's mother. I've been trying because I'm curious.
He's got to look more like the mom. He has to.
Yeah.
The whole...
Not that Taz is ugly.
No, it's just he doesn't really look like him. Like, I wouldn't have put together that was his dad.
Well, we've also known Taz as, like, basically this bald guy this entire time. And, like, Hook has this, like, beautiful head of hair. He's just... Again, I'm not saying Taz is ugly, but Hook is a very good-looking gentleman.
Yeah, he's a cute kid.
Mm-hmm.
he's a phenomenon. Like I feel like it started as a meme, which now it's grown into like an actual like cult following.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it was very bizarre how they like. I mean, it worked, but like how he was built, I'm not entirely sure if AEW is the one who went about doing it, or if just like fans did.
And what really put him over was when that promo and Punk said "send Hook," and that has become the tagline for him now. It's always "send Hook," and that's when like he was like rising, and then that happened, and it was like boom, like.
Who would have thought that CM Punk could create stars?
Yeah, I know. What a novel.
So strange.
I love CM Punk.
Yeah. What exactly happened between him and Colt Cabana?
I don't.
It's that I know it has to do with that podcast.
Yeah, I don't remember the details, but I really like hope that they make up because I love both of them.
Mm-hmm. Colt Cabana had like probably the best wrestling podcast for a long time. Like I think he predated Jericho.
Oh well.
I think I could be wrong. I just feel that though for some reason. I know Jericho was a very early one to do podcasting in general, but like when I think wrestling podcasts, those are the two that I think of. Talk is Jericho, and then I don't remember what Colt Cabana's is anymore, but
which is funny for, starting a wrestling podcast, never really listened to any. So for me, if I think a wrestling podcast, it's just Cultaholic, because I'm not one that really ever went out to listen to podcasts. It just it fell into that because I was a fan of Cultaholic and like, oh, they're doing this podcast. And I was a fan of Botchmania and saw that, Matthew was on it too. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll watch this. And that was like, I've heard a few episodes of Talk is Jericho just from like if Brian made me listen to one, but I never really I didn't listen to Colt, didn't listen to Jericho really, just.
Well, it's funny, the things that like I never listen to podcasts that are like what we're doing. It's always the interview. Like that's how I would get sucked in, because I'd look up I go through bouts of insomnia, and when that happens, I do deep dives on like a wrestler. There was a time this past summer, I think I've watched everything about Shayna Baszler that there is.
Oh my God.
Like I know too much probably about that woman. Which she's one of those people that the more I learned, the more I liked and the more I was interested. Like she had her degree is in cult psychology. Yeah, like she the recovery of people after they leave a cult and work. That's what she was gonna do, work with people after they left cults.
That's cool as hell.
Yes, and no one asks her about this. Renee did on a podcast at one point, but it was very brief, and I'm like, no. Stay here a while. Ask more stuff. And if you watch Shayna Baszler's YouTube channel, she talks about it a little bit at one point with it was some trainer. Like she briefly mentions that he uses cult tactics. Oh. And I was just like, she's amazing. But yes, I go to currently I'm on a best friends trip, but I will. It's tough when there's not a lot of the AEW stars don't have this huge backlog. Shayna Baszler did because she was doing MMA before that. Mm-hmm. So, occasionally, I'll watch everything and then I'll have to wait a month or two and cycle back. Mm. But yeah, I've watched probably everything on MJF. I've watched a bunch of Ruby Soho when she was Ruby Riott, because the Shayna Baszler one led me off onto they're such good friends. And yeah, so.
Speaking of Shayna, where has she been, or have I just not really been watching enough lately?
I'm hoping she's another one who I wouldn't mind seeing win the Rumble.
Okay, has she not been around, or am I missing her? Because I don't think I've seen her in a while.
I feel like I haven't seen her in a while either. Which I feel like she was getting a push. Mm-hmm. And then blah blah blah.
I heard that Vince didn't get her, which translates to Vince doesn't want to fuck her, which is why she wasn't getting pushed.
Yeah. Vince McMahon likes big sweaty men, which is why he's so into Wardlow.
When Wardlow finally turns on MJF, that's gonna be
I'm looking at half.
You see him just staring at him oh my God, I can't wait. I know this
Wardlow, people talk about how MJF is a future star. Wardlow is also a future star. That's one of the he's the first person I thought of when they kept bringing in like talent from WWE. I was like, if Wardlow's push gets backtracked because of this, I'm writing a very angry letter.
Well, I mean, this whole feud is supposed to be about like MJF and CM Punk, but really, like everyone's focusing on like when is this Wardlow and MJF thing gonna happen? And I think it's brilliant because like CM Punk is doing something, but he's not the spotlight of it.
Yeah.
It's really all about MJF and Wardlow, and I love it. I can't wait until he finally turns, and I think it's gonna be when they're in, was it Cincinnati? I think so.
Oh yeah, because Wardlow's from Ohio. But yeah, he is. I'm not surprised at all that WWE wants their paws on him. He's someone that would do well in WWE, not just because he's a big sweaty man, but he's got talent like oozing out his eyeballs. He could do with some more of the refinement with camera work that like NXT would do. I don't think he should go to NXT. I'm just saying, like, do a crash course and send him up to the main roster if he were ever to go there. I know he's saying like, I'm going to stay with AEW, but he's in his 30s, but he's still early on in his wrestling career. So I'm a never say never with that sort of thing.
I don't want him to leave.
I don't want him to leave, but like if he were to, he would do well there.
I mean, it could go either way. Like he could do well, or like he will have something missing, and then you'll see him like dancing in a silly costume in 3 weeks. I mean, it could really go either way.
I think he's too pretty for them to do that to him, quite honestly. Like
he is a good looking. I love the Dark Order stuff on BTE.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
That is hysterical with like John Silver.
When Silver just fawns over him, it is one of the fun. And like you can always see he's like trying not to laugh. It's great. John Silver is amazing.
Yes, he is fantastic. I think he is my favorite member of the Dark Order. Currently living. Like, yeah. He's just brilliant.
I mean, I do have a personal, because of the video I got from 10 and 5 from now Alan, but because the mask is gone and everything, but I had a nice little video from them. A friend got me from before I got married, congratulating me, and it was just very sweet. So I have a little soft spot for them.
For the Dark Order. Have you joined?
Oh yeah, a while ago. got my hoodie and everything.
Yep. Well, I guess because we're doing it again, like the hour and a half mark.
This goes by fast.
It does. It does. Sadly, we have nothing to talk about. So we're going to be doing this weekly. Ideally, episodes will be coming out every Thursday, but depending on someone's work schedule,
sorry,
that might change, and if so, we'll put something up on social media like coming soon on this date. Otherwise, assume Thursdays. But we will see you next week.
Yes.